Hey everyone, Bradley tuning in. Today, the United States increases interest rates. Canada sits at 170% debt ratio, which is just crazy, okay? So let me ask this question and give you guys the impact of what we're gonna see over the next year here in Canada. Before I get started, my name is Bradley and I do these videos every week. Follow us on GTA Real Estate on Facebook or Watson Estates on YouTube. Okay, so historically, we find that Canada follows the US as far as interest rate changes. But just yesterday, I was listening to Benjamin Tal, the chief economist of CIBC speaking. He was at a launch event we were having with our team. And this is what he said, and I really like his points. And I actually have a really good quote that he gave, and I'll share that with you as well. But it talks to the impact of the United States interest changes and what Canada is going to find. His claim is this. First off, Canada is not... I repeat, is not going to increase its interest rate, or if they do, it'll be one time further here in 2018. And I like his logic. Think of it like this, okay? The debt ratio in Canada is 170%. Now, that's very high, but the other side of it that people ignore is composition. It's not just about the number. It's not how much debt we have. It's what is that made up of. So over 75% of that is mortgage debt here in Canada, and the vast majority of that is 5-year fixed mortgages, okay? If we look at the auto loans, those tend to sit for 4 years. They're locked in. We look at consumer debt, 20% rates that aren't affected by minor changes. So the vast majority of debt that we have isn't affected by interest rate changes. So what that has shown over the last year is that only 20% of Canadians were affected by the interest rate 3 hikes we had last year. So the question is where do we go from here? Over the next year, these same 3 changes are going to result in another 10% of Canadians being affected. And actually, leave it in the comments below. Let me know. Have you guys felt the impact of the interest rate changes? Yes or no, and why? But I don't think we're going to see an interest rate increase. Here's the quote he gave. I really, really like this quote. He said, maybe the disease is the cure. And that's an excellent point, because that same 170% debt ratio that we are afraid of, the Bank of Canada is also afraid of. The same change that would have happened 5 years ago today has a 25% more impact because of this number being such a high debt ratio. So they just can't simply turn around and increase interest rates. The system is so far along that it's almost impossible for them to do that. And so I don't think we're going to see it. I think it's going to be a slow movement, slow changes, and these 3 hikes we've seen are going to slowly unfold over the next year or two. And so we'll watch those, but don't expect the stuff you see going on in the news in the US to the way that it has in the past to impact us here in Canada today. I'm going to leave it there, guys. I'll see you next week with more tips and tricks. Take care. Keep it real.